the rapper Takeoff. You gotta understand, I wanna say this, all my videos, especially the last video that I did, I wanna respect the family at this time. Okay, I wanna respect the family at this time. But I want you guys to understand something. You gotta understand a lot of these rappers come, not a lot, but most of them come from poor families, all right? They came from um poor families where they grew up in poor environment. And then you give these people all this money, okay? They never had money. They don't even know how to manage money like accountants. They never were taught this stuff in school. So they get all this money and all this fame and it goes to their head, okay? Now, I grew up when hip hop in the 90s, okay? When hip hop was hip hop, okay? The real hip hop, okay? Some of you guys don't understand when hip hop was hip hop, okay? But what I'm seeing on the spiritual realm, so many people have died in the hip hop community. I mean, Tupac, Biggie, um, I mean, I can go on and on. Tupac, Biggie, who else died in the hip hop community? It's so many of them. Tupac, Biggie. Let me Google how many people died. How many rappers died in the hip hop community? DMX. Okay, right here. It's so many of them. Tupac, Biggie, um, consider some of the facts in the 35 years between, I mean, it says 35 years. You guys, wow. If I go down this list, there's so many of them. XXX Tension. I mean, there's so many of them. But during my area at the time, like the main ones were like Biggie, Tupac, um, Easy E, Nipsey Hussle. I mean, you guys, there's so many of them, and some of them were in the 20s when they died. So we gotta ask ourselves, why are all these rappers dying? DMX. Who was the other one? Who was the other one that just died recently? Coolio. I mean, they were doing. Coolio was during my time. DMX was during my time. Um, Biggie, Tupac, Easy E. I mean, some of these deaths are really tragic, like really, really tragic. So these new rappers, like, I don't really know a lot about these new rappers. Nipsey Hussle. There's so many of them, you guys. Even let me see, white rappers. Even white rappers. I don't even know who this guy is. They're being taken out. But what I find really interesting, you guys, for ledger purposes, like that video I did on Takeoff, that was the energy I was pulling. And I sat there and I thought about it, right? Now, they were in a projects in Texas. When Takeoff was murdered, they were in the projects in Texas. Now, I've been to some projects, okay? I've been to the projects in Brooklyn, um, off of Fulton Street. Um, what's the name of the projects? My ex mother-in-law, um, she used to live there. My ex-husband, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. And his mom lived there for years. We're trying to get her out of New York as we speak. But what's the name of it's I forget the name of the projects. But I mean it's wild. Okay, it's wild, you guys. And I've been to projects in Florida, and the projects I'm talking about in Brooklyn, New York, that area is predominantly it was predominantly black, but now the Jews bought up everything in that area off of Fulton, Marcus Garvey Street, um, Atlantic Ave, like on the other side of Atlantic Ave. It's mostly African Americans, and then when you cross over, it's the Jewish community, right? So I mean, and I've also been in projects in Florida, and when he was partying all day with this producer that's from Texas, okay? He's a music producer from Texas. Now, did the music producer say, oh, the Quavo and Takeoff is coming down here? And my thing is, why would you think that it's okay for you guys to go into projects? These people are out here starving in projects. And they see you with these nice car, nice chains. I mean, you're it's like you're putting yourself out there to be honestly, I know this for a fact. Like I wouldn't even put myself in that situation because once you get money, the your life is completely changed. You're no longer in this environment that you grew up in before. And they're in Texas, you guys. They're not in Georgia. There's in Georgia. There's projects everywhere. Okay. There's projects in Miami. Pork and beans. Okay. I'm talking about real projects, you guys, that you can't even walk in. Or you can't walk on this side of the projects because these people are running this side. And the cops are barely policing the area because some of the police are scared to even go into projects. I remember when I was young, and I'm gonna get back to Takeoff though and Quavo. Um, there was projects in Florida. Okay, my mom first moved to Florida. She moved to Tampa, and then I moved to the outskirts like Brandon area, and Tampa. The projects in Tampa were bad, you guys. They were all predominantly African American people. Okay, so I remember my friend um, when I went to school there. I had a friend. Doesn't matter, and they call you red. They call you red bone, whatever. You're light skin. They call you red bone in Florida. And I remember she went to see her boyfriend at the time. Okay, she met this boy in school. She called him her boyfriend. So I'm tagging along. Okay, let me go. Now I grew up in the '90s music. Okay, so I'm along, and we get off the bus. Me and her get on the bus. Okay, we think we're grown at this time. She's going to meet her boyfriend. You guys, we get off the bus. This is in Tampa, off of Martin Luther King, and let me look up the Martin Luther King and 22nd Street. Okay, there's projects down there. Okay, there was a whole bunch of projects. They had um oh my gosh, let me go to the projects in Tampa and tell you the exact name of that project. College Hill, Ponce de Leon. I mean, these are real projects, okay? They used to have riots in these projects, and the police force wouldn't even go in these projects. They were rioting against the police force, because they were struggling and they were living in poverty, and the police were scared to go into these communities. So I'm gonna get back to my story though. They took a lot of the projects down. There's only left, and the project left is where they found the African American cemetery, where they built with it, where they were building the projects um on African American um burial site. That's the last project that's standing. Okay, the last one. I mean, they redid them. They redid all the buildings now. They're not the same. The only one that's standing is the one where they're trying to move people off because they found out. They didn't find out. They knew that that was African American burial ground, because that whole part of Tampa, that's um you have like artists, all that. Okay, but yeah. So we get off the bus. Let me tell you the story, and then I'm gonna go back to Takeoff, because I feel like this is very important. Because I'm going back to my past, okay? And so we get off the bus, me and her. So her boyfriend meets us there. You guys, when we got off the bus, we were surrounded by so many African American guys. I honestly thought that they was gonna rape us or something. They like surrounded us, and we were in the middle of a circle. And I told her, I was like, you need to call your brother right now. And her brother came right away. They were trying to talk to us and everything. And we imagine we were females. I was like, get me up out of here. There was no police stations in the projects. Now there is police stations in the projects. There was none of that. We were on our own. And she didn't even know what she was getting herself into. And her boyfriend was supposed to, he was there, but it was it was so many guys. I just remember them surrounding us, saying, hey, Red, hey, Red. And I felt very uncomfortable. Okay. Who knows what could have happened? And the police were scared to come into those projects. And if you're from Florida, you know what projects I'm talking about. Okay. Off of MLK and 22nd Street. Okay. They were projects. People were, when you say project, project was a project for the American government. Project. Okay. African Americans, after slavery, they were a project, because they didn't know where to put these ex-slaves. So they built all these housings for them to live. And they called it project because they were a project for the American government. Okay, a project. Now let me go back to Takeoff and Quavo. Um, they're all related, you guys. When I first did the read, I didn't even know they were related. I did not know they were all blood. Okay, and so I pulled the shells. I'm like, wow, they're all blood. Okay, one's the uncle. Okay, the three members are directly related, and this, I'm gonna say alleged purposes for both my videos that I did on them. Okay, um, and my condolences to his family. Okay, the three members are directly related and were raised together. They were raised together, you guys. Okay, Quavo is Takeoff's uncle, and then Offset is Quavo's cousin. So Quavo is Takeoff's uncle. So that Takeoff will be Quavo's nephew. And Offset, the one that's with Carly B, that's Quavo's cousin. So they're all blood. And when the shells came out, they all came out together. The shells did not come out separate. The only time the shells came out separate was when he was taken out of the picture. Okay, when basically he was taken out. Okay, he was taken out. Now this is so crazy because you got to look at when, what, and where. Okay, okay, we know where they were at because they were posting the whole day where they were at. They were in Texas in a project. In this project, I was reading some information about it. It's not a really it's a scary place to be, and it's not far from the downtown Texas. Okay, and they were posting it on their page that they were there to support, I guess, a producer, a music producer, and in some of the videos you could see, because I watched some of the videos. I said, let me watch some of these videos so I can fully understand the whole picture. Okay, and Quavo, you can see in the videos when he's sitting in the car. There's a video with him sitting in the car. He looked very uncomfortable. And Takeoff is going to follow Quavo's lead. I don't even know Takeoff, but what I'm getting at, as me looking at him, he was a very reserved person. He was really reserved, really quiet. Um, his real name is Krishik Kara Ball. Okay, that's his real name. He's from Lawrenceville, Georgia. He died in Houston, Texas. So he was in like the major city of Houston, in is the worst projects in Texas. So we know where he was at because he was telling people where he was at, and we know what happened. What happened was he got shot. Okay, and we know when it happened, but why did it happen? Okay, why did this happen? And why are all these rappers dying? And there's video out there, you guys. I'm hearing video. He was 28 years old. Takeoff was the younger member of the group, and they made it big with the song Versace, and Bad and Bougie. You guys, there's actually video out of the night that he was saying that I was that he was giving people his exact location of the night where he was at. Now, did the producer have anything to do with this? Okay, I don't know, because there is hidden information. There is hidden information, you guys. Okay. Now I know whoever shot him was facing. He was face to face with this individual. Okay. Now I feel like later on during the day, they were saying like around 9 o'clock. I don't know exactly his time of death. Um, there was some kind of confrontation, and now I'm also being told that the celebration of life, they call it the celebration of life for Takeoff's funeral, plans in place. Okay, so it's going to happen, and that they're having it in Atlanta State Farm Arena. Okay, and it says that it's sold out. Funeral for Amigos rapper Takeoff to be held in State Farm Arena. And I'm guess are paying for this ticket. I mean, I've never seen this in my life. I never seen a rapper have a funeral in an arena and people are actually paying for this ticket. So are they going to actually have his body there in the arena? I don't know, you guys. Let me see what I can get off of here. Okay, it's okay. So let me go back here because there's so many different reports coming in. Okay, so the funeral arrangements for Takeoff have been announced. Okay, the late MIGOS rapper will be laid to rest in the hometown city of Atlanta with a funeral at the State Farm Arena on November 11th. Pastor Jesse Carney the third. Okay, the New Mercy Christian Church will give the eulogy. The New Mercy Church Christian Church will give you know, eulogy. Takeoff born Kersnick Ball was shot and killed at the bowling alley in Houston last week. The shooting took place during a private party, about 40 people. When the altercation occurred, the rapper was pronounced dead at scene. Fellow Migos members Quavo, who was also present with injury. So they're saying Quavo had an injury. Okay, Houston police has said the investigation into his death is ongoing and haven't publicly announced the arrest of suspects. I see them looking into this arrest. The late rapper was 28 years old. Remember, the Migos was alongside family members Quavo and Offset. The music world has been left mourning. I mean, are they gonna have his body at this arena, you guys? I don't know. This is if they have his body there, you guys. I'm gonna be very shocked because I never seen nothing like this in my life. Never. Okay, so I don't know what is going on here. But I will listen to one of his songs and watch one of his interviews. But my thing is, you're worth all this money and you're in the projects. It doesn't make sense to me, you guys. It does not make sense. When you even get this kind of money, you normally move out from the area that you were in. You just can't go in the same area. And there's a street codes out here, okay? So people right now are not speaking, but I do see somebody coming forward. I see a lot of heartbreak here. Now, what I pulled was Quavo. Okay, that's what I pulled. But I'm seeing another gentleman being charged. Okay, so I don't know if it was Quavo's energy that was picking up on, because it was weird. Normally I could pick up on the energy. I might try to do that reading later again to see if I can pick up on his energy. His record labels were Quality Control Music, Motown, 300 Entertainment, Atlanta Records, and Capitol Records. And we all know his rap. It was rap music, trap music, whatever they call it, Southern hip hop, rap. I have a meeting to go to at 5, so I need to head out. But I will try to pull in the energy, because when I was pulling the cards, it was so crazy. I see this dark skin, real dark skin guy. that's going to be charged for this death. Um, Now, was it a setup? I'm going to leave this moon card out. Was it a setup? I mean, was it Quavo that I was seeing? But I see somebody getting money from this. There's going to be, their family is getting a lot of money from this, okay? I think I'm supposed to be there at 5 or 6. I think I have time. Let me check my email, you guys. Hold on. To make sure I'm there at the right time. Because I don't want to miss this. Appointment is very important. Okay, it's very important that I get there. I'm going to use shells, you guys. My ancestors really speak to me through shells. I have to use shells because there's some hidden information here. Now, what I was seeing was Quavo, for legal purposes, shot him. But then I'm seeing a dark-skinned guy. He's real dark. I'm talking about dark. Okay, dark. Okay? And I see him being charged. You guys comment. Is there any charges on him? Because I see charges being charged. But I'm going to definitely use the shells. There's hidden information. There's heartbreak with the 3 of Swords. But you got to understand, like, first of all, what are you doing in the projects where all this gold, nice car, and you see and these people in the projects, they're struggling. And they have that project mentality. They know they ain't getting out. The only 2 ways they get out is through music and sports. That's the only way they're getting out. Or if they make a change in their life to do something better, go to college to better themselves, to educate themselves, that's the only way they're making it out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to light a candle and see if I can pull on the energy here. And I'm going to listen to his song while I'm driving to my appointment. Because I'm seeing a dark-skinned guy. And I kept hearing Quavo. So maybe he was screaming out to Quavo. Maybe he didn't do it and he was screaming out to Quavo. Because I kept hearing the name Quavo. So maybe he was screaming out to him. Like, you know how so you scream out to somebody like Quavo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're warning your family, look, you better run or you be shot. Because it was too late. It was too late. Okay? This is what I'm hearing. Too late. But I'm going to try to pull and burn. I'm going to burn bay leaf for good intentions later. And do this read. And light a candle. And see what we get, you guys. Okay? I have a meeting to go to. But I'm seeing a dark-skinned guy. I can see his face right now. He will be charged, you guys. But it's deeper than what they're saying, okay? And we need to pay attention to, a lot of people say, oh, conspiracy theorists and stuff. The symbols they use at his funeral. Because I was shocked that they bring his actual body to the arena. Because I never seen that in my life, okay? Never, ever. But I'm going to play one of his songs and see if I can pull his energy, okay? Hopefully I can and get a good reading because I feel like I'm missing something here. I'm definitely missing something with this young gentleman. I'm definitely missing something. That was a Tupac song. All right, you guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. I will do a video later on the Migos, and I'm seeing this African American Darson guy be in charge, and there's video out there. So we will get into depth on it later, you guys. Okay. All right. Light and love, you guys. This is Jennifer Felix. Light and love.